Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Displaying-Model-Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest video podcast. And today, as every day, we're going to talk about the only news that matters. It's good news. Let's not stand on ceremony. Mr. Wayne, let's talk about it. First of all, we're going to go over to Toy Ark, and they have given us some beautiful preview. Well, I say some, just one preview image of a Sinestro Corps Batman. And look, I know, let's get it all out of our system. All right. Oh my goodness, McFarlane is making a Batman variant. Who'da thunk it? I know, it's just, it's par for the course. But look, that's where the money is. If people didn't buy them, they wouldn't make them. And for what it is, this is a very cool looking Batman. I feel every single iteration that McFarlane does of Batman, it gets like a little better, a little sweeter. The proportions, the angles, the jaw, the head sculpt, it all looks better and better every time he does it. So this is what we get for 10 million different Batmen, is we get a slightly refined sculpt each time. And this, it looks the bee's knees, man. It really does. I'm not a big DC guy, as you know, so I don't know if this is from an actual comic where he does get the Sinestro Corps ring, or Core ring. I always pronounce it the way it's spelled because I'm a dum-dum. But the Sinestro Corps Batman with the yellow and black, the Bumblebee-looking Batman, he does look really cool. So I would imagine with McFarlane doing their releases the way they do, we'll probably have the full product images coming up in the next day or two, and we'll be able to show off all of those. We'll see how that rubber diaper actually looks in the harsh light of day. But in the meantime, this kind of moody, professionally photographed street scene, it looks the bomb, man. It genuinely looks really cool with the ring glowing there. I gotta say, I like it. So the write-up says, a new teaser today from McFarlane Toys. This is a Target exclusive. Target exclusive. So sorry for everyone who has to go toy hunting to find this guy. Good luck and Godspeed to you. Target exclusive gold label Sinestro Corps Batman. No word on if this is a new Bath wave or just a one-off. Stay tuned for more details. But yeah, he does look very pretty, so watch this space. Speaking of looking pretty, I'm going to jump away from Toy Ark very quickly to talk about Eternia on Twitter has posted a bunch of Marvel Legends official releases of Hawkeye and the new Sky Cycle. And Marvel Legends, they're just like that bad girlfriend or boyfriend or partner, whoever that you've been with for a long time, and you keep saying like, I gotta break up with her, man. I gotta break up with her. She's no good for me. She's bad. She's abusive. And your friends are like, dude, yes, you've got to quit her. And then you come home one day from work and you're like, okay, this is it. I'm breaking up for good now. And she answers the door in lingerie with a Domino's pizza in hand, and she's like, hey, let's have some fun tonight. And you're like, well, maybe we'll break up tomorrow. That's what this Hawkeye with the Sky Cycle is. I mean, look at these pictures. They just look. I just got a little wave of dopamine just rush over me there when I just saw that image, because he looks beautiful. He looks really beautiful. Look at all the different colored paint on there. Look at the red feathers on the arrows. Look at the different colored bow. I remember the original Hawkeye, it was just one purple solid plastic bow. Now you've got all the different colors with the gold and the black on the handle, and the pinless legs and the pinless elbows, and then of course the actual cloth goods on his sash. Oh, what is that song that goes, I hate how much I love you, boy? Yeah, that's this. I hate how much I love you. And then, of course, the Sky Cycle itself with the stand that they've used for the Demo Goblin Glider, and I think a couple of other pieces as well. This sucks. It sucks with how good it looks. Let's just go through these again here. One of the final, thank goodness, one of the final windowless boxes. Turns out people don't want to buy windowless boxes. Go figure. Spectre Creative. Shout out Sorry, I was getting very marble-mouthed there because I was forgetting to swallow. Ooh, that's what she said. Sorry, this channel's better than that. Nonetheless, Spectre Creative did a fantastic video. Cannot stress that enough. If I remember, I'll try to remember to put a link in the comments. But go and look at Spectre Creative's video on windowless packaging and how much of a bomb it has been for Hasbro and why they had to do a U-turn. One of the main things being that I didn't think about was that parents and people who aren't into action figures assume that windowless boxes are model kits or like Lego type figures or puzzles. Even puzzles they think they are, because they just don't think it's an action figure, so they don't buy it for their kids because they're like, oh, this is a Hawkeye puzzle set. So yeah, absolute swing and a miss. But this looks glorious. It all comes down to price, of course. If this was $30, oh my goodness, that would be an instant purchase. Of course it's not be. It's going to be closer to 50. I'm guessing $50, which is, it's too rich for my blood. It's too much. But having said that, gosh, he'd look real nice next to 20th anniversary Captain America and my Select Hulk fighting Galactus in my display. You know what? It's going to be overpriced, but I genuinely think I might be tempted. I might be very tempted to get him because he just looks phenomenal. This looks like a quintessential Hawkeye figure with the Sky Cycle. Have him flying around Galactus in a display. Oh man. I'm looking forward to reading the chat on this video as I'm filming it live for those of you who are watching this in the edited replay. Because, yeah, he looks gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Right, let's go back to Toy Arc, shall we? Because speaking of gorgeous, they have their Mezco Iron Man has been revealed. The Silver Centurion, 1/12 from Mezco. Mezco Iron Man retail for $125, which is kind of standard for this sort of set now. It has gone up in price, as all things have. Again, your decision as to whether or not you think it's worthwhile. With a shipping date of Q1 2024, excuse me while I belly laugh. Ha! Yeah, I think maybe Q1 2025? Maybe, and excuse me for being cynical, but Mezco, you bring it on yourself. I love Mezco, but they suck with release dates. And like, look, I know they're still reeling from the shipping crisis that it has been over the last couple of years, but still, then just try and label your figures accurately or give updates. That's what I'm talking about. Give us updates as to when to expect the figures, and especially like there's been a real mixed feelings about Mezco Ghost Rider and the Mezco 89 Batman, with a lot of people saying, hey, interesting that these photographs that you put out arguably don't look exactly like the final finished products. So you gotta win back some public support, because I'm still waiting, as we all are, for the Fantastic Four, which should have come out like a couple of years ago? Maybe at least 1 year ago. Nonetheless, I still hold high hope in my heart, but let's just hope that they deliver. Because this does look good. The head looks a little bit big. Little bit big. Friend of the show, Kozen, first showed me these pictures and he was like, yo, I know he's called Buckethead, but that is quite a big bucket head. The unmasked head looks very nice though. The paintwork on the face, again, it's just a promo picture, so we don't know for sure, but it does look very nice. Plus, there's going to have the light effects in there for the arc reactor, the stand, and what I really love, look at all these different blast effects. So bright, so colorful, really, really beautiful. I've got my gorgeous Select Centurion Iron Man, so I don't need to upgrade this. I'm happy, very, very happy with that. But if you want like the ultimate, arguably bells and whistles one, then you can go the Mezco route. But I'm not going to be like a blind Mezco fanboy. They have their strengths and their weaknesses, is what we're saying. DC Superpowers now, Wave 4. New Batmobile and Invisible Jet revealed. Let's just take a little look at these. It was funny, I did say in the previous reporting on these that like, this isn't for me, I'm not really sure who's into this. And a lot of folks commented that actually like, yo, I really, really love the the kitsch, campy, old school, classic DC figures and vehicles. So there's a big audience out there, and I dig that, and I love that you guys love that. So that's cool. More power to you. And there's a lot of fun. I mean, just the actual design, the design of this Batmobile, it's cool. Like, it's a fun look. Obviously, it does look very, very sort of plasticky and toyish, but it's fun. It really, really is. So I can see, and especially with the graphics on the box as well. Whoa, that's a thick Wonder Woman. Looks like Miss Trunchbull from Matilda. But it's got a cloth cape too. Aquaman there as well. There's, I don't want to repeat myself. Kitsch, camp, fun, nostalgic, retro value. Let's spin on from those. But that is something that I can see the appeal of. Oh, they got a Robin there as well. Let's take a quick look at Robin too, because yeah, look at that. There's some fun to be had there. It's kind of silly, kind of nonsense, but again, I'm not saying nonsense in a bad way. Not knocking it at all. It's that classic sort of heartwarming kitsch kind of aesthetic to it. Gentle Giants. What are Gentle Giants doing? We're having some fun here. We're jumping around all over the place. Gentle Giant, Star Wars exclusive figures. Gentle Giant sent through an update of their May the 4th festivities with new Star Wars exclusives. So there's Return of the Jedi Endor Han Solo 1/6 scale mini bust. And there's Star Wars Return of the Jedi Vader with removable helmet jumbo 12-inch figure. Let's take a little look at the jumbo 12-inch. Wow, okay. So we're going super old school retro and also very, I don't know about that Han Solo likeness. Yeah, that doesn't look like the matinee idol Harrison Ford there. What's going on with that face? It looks like a slightly sort of, yeah, I don't know about that. And this is just, straight out of the late 70s, early 80s action figures. And yeah, that's going to kind of like dominate your shelf, but it's not anything that really mashes my potatoes. Does it mash your potatoes? Comment below, let me know. We've covered all of the Hasbro reveals and releases from May the 4th. Couple of Hot Toys though. And again, we can spin through these because I don't want to repeat myself, but Star Wars The Clone Wars Clone Commander Fox figure by Hot Toys. And my goodness, they are putting out so many of these, but people love them. People buy them, so I ain't knocking it. Expected between the second and third quarters of next year, 2024. And a whole bunch of stuff is going to come with this, as they always do with the Hot Toys. Clone Wars is one of the most revered Star Wars spin-offs. I never knock it. I just say that I haven't seen it, and so many people will come and say, like, dude, if you're a bit sour on Star Wars, if you're not feeling what they're doing, then you have to watch the Clone Wars, because that will win you back. The storytelling and the arcs of the characters and the journeys they go on, it really is classic Star Wars that really fleshes out the Clone Wars and makes it a whole lot more than what was originally presented in, just the basic movies. So I appreciate that your best Star Wars content is probably in some of these shows, and that's why I guess Hot Toys make so many of these figures, because a lot of people have a lot of reverence for them, and they do look nice. They do look nice. I like the way that they've just, taken the original Clone Trooper armor and they've yes-anded it. And tarted it up like a horse draws, and it does look nice. Now, Star Wars The Clone Wars, sticking with Clone Wars, Darth Sidious figure by Hot Toys. This one has light-up LED lightsabers, going to be released just like the Clone Trooper around about the second and third quarters of next year. And we can take a little look at some of the beautiful, pretty pictures they've got here, because that's what Hot Toys is all about. It's about as high-end as you're going to get without getting into, like, insane, bespoke, movie prop type replicas, I guess. Anthony McDermott. It is Anthony McDermott. That's the name of the actor, isn't it? Looking mean, cruel, sinister there. It's pretty wicked. It's pretty wicked. I mean, if I was going to get an Emperor, I would just want, like, classic Return of the Jedi Emperor. But if you're just expanding your Hot Toys collection throughout, like, everything, every permutation of every character, again, like, what do you deal in gold bullion and adamantium? Like, how do you afford these things? But God bless you if you can do, because This looks amazing. It does. If you do have this kind of cheddar available, maybe try subscribing to the Patreon. You know, you might find some stuff you like on there. I swear, Model Behavior Patreon is the Hot Toys of Patreon, in that I put out new content every few months. But yeah, that looks terrific. Very, very cool stuff there. And that does it for Toy Arc, but we're not done with action figures. There's still a lot to cover. First of all, over at TNI News, they're reporting that Hasbro expands, or Hasbro Pulse expands to Hong Kong, Singapore, and Malaysia. So this is news that's not like massively exciting, but also like it's a double-edged sword. Yes, it means that more Hasbro Pulse products are going to be easily available in Hong Kong, Singapore, and Malaysia. That's good. Although, like the Cursed Frogurt, it also means that what Hasbro is doing, the whole point of Hasbro Pulse is to cut out third-party retailers. It's to cut out, the companies that they have to negotiate with, to distribute their product. Which is like, you can argue, oh, well, that makes it cheaper for Hasbro, so they can pass those savings on to the fans. But of course they don't, because Hasbro is a business, and they don't care about how happy their customers are, only that they get money. That's not a revelation. That's business. That's why I didn't even say, because Hasbro are an evil corporation. No, it's just, it's a business. Businesses aren't set up, formulated, and created to put smiles on people's faces, unless they're board members and stockholders. So it worries me that, one day in the future, like, all Hasbro products might be sold directly by Hasbro themselves. No, there'll be no brick and mortar stores or no extra third-party retailers. It'll be Hasbro Pulse just controlling the entire market and setting whatever price they want. And that's not a happy thought, because they love nothing more than making people pay out the wazoo for their products, and it's only going to get worse. That's what I'm saying. But moving away from Hasbro, TNI News have an article on Fox Forge Toys Stardust Wave 2, which are 1/12 figures. Shown below, wow, I gotta take a breath. I'm going a mile a minute here. Shown below is the new Stardust Wave 1/12 figures from Fox Forge Toys, featuring a whole lot of names that I ain't gonna try and pronounce, but I will show you some pretty pictures, because these are hearkening. These are hearkening and a barkening to your 80s nostalgia, but with modern sculpting and styling sensibilities. So I kind of like that. They've got a bit of a space age He-Man mixed with G.I. Joe type aesthetic look to them. The paintwork, it doesn't look like there's a huge amount of like shading and dry brushing on the flesh tones. However, they do look bright, bold, kind of kitsch, fun. Kind of like I was saying about previous figures that we were talking about. It's popping off the shelf. And of course, then you get the highfalutin, pictures with all the nice backgrounds and photography that really make them pop. But you can imagine what they'd look like just on your plain Jane shelves. But they're still going to stand out. They're still going to look nice. So this is a wave that I'm not overly familiar with. This is a brand, a line that I'm not overly familiar with. And when I say overly, I mean at all. So some of these, are these kind of like Mythic Legions, where they're harkening back to licensed properties? Like the one we were just looking at, he looked a lot like, got a bit of a Hordak kind of look from He-Man. Then we got something that looks a bit like a clone trooper from Star Wars. Is this the gist, with a bit of rain from Mortal Kombat there too? Is this the gist of these figures, that they're kind of like, legally distinct, but tributes to other things? I'm going to have to do a little bit of research on this, because I'm intrigued. I like the way that these things look. I'd be interested to find out more. One thing that it doesn't have to worry about being legally distinct, because they got the likeness and the license, is Joy Toys' Warhammer line. And now they have a reveal of the Ultramarines Primaris Chaplin Brothers Varus 1/18 scale figure. And look, this is a cyber goth looking Grim Reaper mask face Terminator guy, and just all the coolness. Warhammer 40,000, they bring the thunder with their designs. So wicked. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. 1/18 scale, so it's not something that I would want to put on my shelf. However, that being said, I just love the design so much. That's why I'll happily cover them. And all the things that I've heard from collectors, people who actually do buy the Joy Toy figures, they say like, dude, the quality's excellent. It really, really is. So there's a lot to appreciate here. And also, I mean, hey, look, 1/18 scale, it's going to dominate less of your shelf. It's going to take up less space there. So you can just buy more action figures. So, yeah, there's something very, very good about that. So, yeah, he looks super pretty. That's very cool. And also, you've got the Blood Angels Assault Terminators. I'm going to bring this up on Big Bad Toy Store just so I can see how much they're charging for these as well, so you can get a better idea of price and whatnot. So yeah, they ain't cheap. $65 each, but you do get a fair bit of bang for your buck with these action figures. There's 40 pictures here. I'm not going to scroll through all of them, but you can see, again, just how cool they look. If you like your big, chunky, badass mech warriors with a little bit of sort of gothic, religious iconography and overtones in there too, they just hit the nail on the head with these kinds of designs. Really, really wicked. Very cool. If they were 1/12 scale, my wallet would be in trouble. Going over now to Super 7 with the weirdest Wave 1 Trash Squatch and Blood Tease. Super 7, they come up with some bonkers nonsense, and I love it. So the weirdest are coming soon from Super 7. Meet Trash Squatch and Ghastly Nasty Garbage Ghoul. That's a mouthful. Let's take a closer look at the pictures of these guys. So you got the artwork here. It's just silly, bonkers, childish imagination, which is kind of fun sometimes, you know? I was criticizing Hasbro for having zero imagination. Super 7, they don't have that problem. According to people who are more familiar with the products, they do have other problems, but imagination, that ain't one of them. So this looks like your kind of classic sort of garbage pail kids type, just crazy nonsense, childish 1980s type toy designs, and I'm here for that, so I'll keep a little eye on that. Obviously, we just got the artwork to go on here, but with the actual plastic figures, I'd like to see how they actually get translated. That could be kind of fun. Now, Ultimate TMNT Usagi Yojimbo black and white figure, available on NECA's Amazon store. This just looks really pretty. Black and white Usagi Yojimbo, $34.99. I didn't even get the colorful one. I wanted the Usagi Yojimbo. I really, really liked the look of that figure. The samurai rabbit, super cool. He didn't pop up in England. I don't know if he has popped up since I left, but certainly not while I was around. They got the slipcase with the pen-looking sketch art on there. They've done a really nice job. A trading card too. Oh, God bless you, NECA. This is a lovely looking set. They've pulled out all the stops on this one. So yeah, special launch tomorrow. So by means of tomorrow, I think that's actually, today. So or even yesterday when this originally came out. Currently available on their Amazon store for $34. Well, go check out the Amazon store then, if you want a black and white Usagi Yojimbo. Now, this is one that got a lot of pictures sent to me, which I appreciate. Mondo have been killing it with their animated X-Men line, but they're not stopping there. They're moving over to the Batman series as well. Mondo Batman, the animated series harley-quinn 1/6 scale figure, timed edition. The Clown Prince of Crime is officially released from Arkham Asylum, the latest in our Batman line. Okay, let's go and take a look at these here. So, we have some pictures. Yes, of course we do. Fantastic. 47. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I don't need to go through all of them for you to have a good look at what this entails. Look at the hyenas. Look at the smirk, the grin. This is everything straight out of the animated show. This looks really, really beautiful, really, really gorgeous. So I think that this is probably going to cost, if it's going to be the same sort of prices as the other ones that they've done, then you're going to be looking at about $200, which of course I know is a huge amount of money. But it's however much love and reverence you have for this particular brand. I mean, my age demographic, 40 plus, basically. This was a groundbreaking cartoon in the early 90s. It really was. And of course, this is where Harley Quinn was first ever introduced. You take a look at that unmasked head sculpt. Yeah, see, it just looks like the cartoon has popped off the screen and onto your shelf. So there's a lot to love, man. There really, really is. And you can see her just in the harsh light of day there. And yeah, different face sculpts as well, different expressions. That is full on perfect Harley Quinn there with the two hyenas as well. I love it. I dig it. That's super, super cool. I got a lot of time for it. Okay, moving over to Mattel Creations Mega Masters of the Universe Eternia Battleground Building Set Pre-Order. Now, the new Mattel Creations Master of the Universe Battleground Building Set from Mega is now available for pre-order on Mattel Creations. And the price, $65. Which, I gotta say, like, it's cheaper than I would expect because it's a lot of plastic in there. So we'll take a little closer look. I'm not a retro He-Man person, but again, having said that, it's not like a Snake Mountain or anything, which is a full-on classic playset. This is kind of like a lesser version of a Lego set. But you can see that it's just it's a fun little, I don't know, there's a kitsch addition to your He-Man collection. I do like the expressions they've got with the cat eyes and all that kind of thing. So it's Lego, but not Lego, kind of like Duplo. But if you're a big time classic old school He-Man fan, they've got all the old traps there as well. It's these things that harken back to your feeling of nostalgia for the 80s originals. So yeah, with a vehicle as well, and 1, 2, 3, 4 different action figures that come with it. There's fun to be had with that. I kind of like the look of it. I like what they're doing with that. And then, let me just. All right, G.I. Joe. This was another one a couple of people sent me. Thank you so much for that, guys. G.I. Joe Classified Arctic Bat and Range Viper in hand looks. Now, the Range Viper, we have seen we've seen plenty of preview images of the Range Viper, but the Arctic Bat, this is a little extra. This is a little extra something. And the bats, man, they look so good. They have done right from the start. These guys with all their interchangeable pieces, their battle damage, all that kind of stuff. I love them. This guy in particular, with his sort of single eye going on here. He's got a big sniper rifle. He's got a chainsaw hand. What's not to love about a guy with a chainsaw hand? Absolutely baller. Really, really cool. I dig it, baby. I dig it the most. So, this is where I lament getting out of collecting G.I. Joe because there's so much cool looking stuff coming out. But having said that, I'm glad that I did because there's so much cool stuff coming out, and it would cost me a lot to keep up with all the figures that I want to keep up with because these guys, yeah, they look thebomb.com. Speaking of thebomb.com, we're going to go over to Gundamit.com, which is, all third-party extra outside creating, and this is cool stuff. So if you were not impressed with the Mezco Ghost Rider, as a few people were not, and understandably so, mine's still waiting for me back home, goodness only knows when I will finally get my hands on it, you could always get the Skeleton King, the legally distinct Skeleton King, available for pre-order now, will ultimately retail for $204, which is a lot of money. All right, so this is your other end of the spectrum, so to speak. But take a little look at some of the pictures. This, I mean, I gotta say, it does look, to my eye, better than the Mezco. I think the skull looks cooler. I think the cloth goods look like they sit a little better. He's got the Nicolas Cage human head, which, I mean, come on, it's a cool looking head, but you're gonna want Ghost Rider as Ghost Rider. But he's got a whole bunch of accessories as well. There's so much cool stuff here, but it's all gonna come down to what you want to spend your money on. Me personally, I'm happy to just look at the pretty pictures, and I will enjoy my Mezco Ghost Rider as it is. However, like, looking at this guy in all his Skeleton King glory, there's a lot to like here. There really, really is. But again, with these products, like with any product, you can't fully tell just from the images, but it's fun to sort of speculate and have a glance because they do look wicked. Also, speaking of wicked, this is such an easy transition from one awesome thing to another. AXY Toys Dinosaur Battlefield Tyrannosaurus. There's a couple of different versions of this guy. I'll just show you this one. It says, pre-order for $1, but I can't see what the actual full price is. I bet it's going to be expensive though, because you gotta see this guy. He looks incredible. I'll try and find out what the full price is. I'm guessing well into 3 digits, certainly. But he's going to be available the 4th quarter of this year. I'm sure the price must be listed somewhere obvious, and I'm just being too much of a dum-dum to be able to see it. Full price. Oh no, unknown for now. There you go, staring me in the face. The full price is unknown for now. So let's just take a look at what he is. Because look, he's a big, giant, barbarian, bipedal T-Rex. Ha! Yes! Yes, this guy. I think this is an extension of a previous wave. They had the bipedal dinosaurs in their battle armor. This is yes-anding that. This is the next evolution of that. Look, yes! Look at the size of this guy. Look, this is bonkers. He is. This is going to cost a lot of money. I think we must be talking like the Mythic Legions, the Mythic Legions ogre-sized type characters. So huge, and with the amount of detail and armor on here. If you want to see this guy, go over to Gundamit.com. But this just looks, and then you can see completely stripped of all the armor, naked dinosaurs on this channel. That's what you get. It looks gorgeous, man. Articulated jaws, the butterfly joints for the shoulders. They're just mugging each other there in those pictures. Yeah, look at this guy. This is the glamour shot here. This is the glamour money shot right here for this dude, and he looks incredible, man. Got the Triceratops battle armor helmet. I'm blown away by that. I really, really am. That's freaking cool. Really, really good. And gang, that does it. Whew. That does it for the good news today for the action figures. And folks, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to stay in the chat. I'm going to talk to the people in the chat because I'm filming this live with the chat open. But for those of you watching the replay, guys, thank you so much for joining. If you like what you see here and you want to see more, then join the 6-1 clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. I'm going to have a little chin wag with all the folks who are watching, but until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Cup of coffee. Big time.